Please allow me to extend my congratulations to the new Prime Minister, Mr. Jean-Emmanuel Baudeloro, with whom we have worked together since 2020. So the place is not unfamiliar to him, and with whom we have achieved quite a few results. And I think that in his new position, he will continue to develop skills for the general interest of the nation. In Clabelville, I also wanted to express my thanks and appreciation to all the members of the government. I would like to start by congratulating the Secretary General himself, who received the promotion following the government's proposal. So you see, in my government, there are many promotions. Thank you. So I wanted the new Prime Minister and the Secretary General of the government convey my gratitude and congratulations to all the government. It was a great team. We all worked well together. Each person gave their best, and we achieved results. Well, unfortunately, when you sow, you have to wait some time for the harvest. And not all seeds grow at the same rate. As a result, we currently don't always see the outcomes of many things we've planted. For a little over 2 years, we worked in complete brotherhood and friendship. And the Council of Ministers meetings were sessions of work and camaraderie. We never got bored. We worked in complete fraternity. So we had good times, to the point where every minister eagerly awaited each council meeting so we could reunite in our pleasant atmosphere. So I would like you to convey to them all my congratulations and my deepest gratitude. Many people have sent me messages of congratulations and encouragements. Finally, I would like you to convey my encouragement, my congratulations, and my gratitude to the head of state, Captain Ibrahim Traore. He was the one who called on me, and with that, we journeyed together. Initially, our relationship was that of boss and subordinate, but he became my boss, my friend, and my brother. Throughout the entire time we worked together, there was not a single instance of disagreement between us. We had discussions about perspectives. Perhaps the methods differed, but we shared the same convictions and objectives. So, as I said, he was first my boss, and now he has become both my boss, my friend, and my brother. And under his leadership, we achieved many, many results. And as I mentioned earlier, you haven't yet seen all aspects of what you've witnessed. But as I said, the results will soon become apparent. You recently saw the immobilization of a tomato factory. There are many connections. There will be others. There will be the mining residue processing plant, everything. And I can tell you that the head of state has big projects and a great vision for the group of France. And if what he has in mind comes to fruition, I can assure you that the coming years will indeed be prosperous for our country. So I ask you to support him in this direction so that we can all benefit from it. And you know, in Burkina Faso, we have a few priorities. First, it's security. We arrived at a time when, under the leadership of Burkina Faso, security issues are being addressed. It was not the case when we arrived in October 2022. But under his leadership, whom I call the strategist, he managed in a short time to equip Burkina Faso both in materials and personnel, to enable the country to cope. Another main issue currently is security. Then there is the rebuilding of the state. There is a progress. So it would be good to continue in that direction. Because without a reformed state, reflecting our true state, progress will be difficult. And in this rebuilding, I believe the transformation of humanity, the movement of humanity is necessary to make people aware of the true state of our society and the goals we must set for ourselves. We agree with me that we must develop a country in discipline, order, and cleanliness. When I assumed office, one of the first objectives I assigned to the Minister of Transport and the Minister of Security was to control unnecessary traffic in the city, ensure respect for people's safety, that people wear helmets. People should respect, shouldn't they, the rules of the road and not walk on the carriageway or drive cars while there are small bike lanes beside them, as this causes significant traffic accidents. But we have faced a reality. The different ministers of security have informed me that currently the personnel responsible for control is assigned to water duties. What remains is not enough to ensure enforcement. It is difficult to uphold a rule when there are no means to enforce it. So it was tough to say that now it's necessary to adhere to road use, wearing helmets, etc., if there is no personnel to enforce and possibly penalize. So that's why this project has not yet been implemented. I think now, with the easing of the various forms of conflict, with the massive recruitment of personnel, and with the significant acquisition of resources, I believe we will have what is necessary to ensure so that this control will make the situation in our urban centers pleasant and no longer a concern for those who need to take the road. So all of this is about rebuilding society. Rebuilding society so that we can live better and flourish in true brotherhood. Finally, there is another chapter that I consider to be the most important. It is the chapter on the Confederation of the Sahel States. So, as you may not know, I have been involved in this chapter since 1986. How to protect primary confederations. So, I've written extensively on this. And when the opportunity arose, we thought, why not? Why not give it a try, even if it failed? Moreover, we started laughing, all of us. But I think today, with the realization of this project, those who laughed initially are now ashamed. The masses have embraced the project, pushing the leaders themselves towards the realization of the Confederation and the Federation. Why am I speaking this way? Because you know that our countries, individually, are very fragile. We speak of sovereignty. And our countries, on their own, cannot ensure their sovereignty against the enemy forces we face. So it's full of ideas today. I give you an outlook. Let's stay. I have always lived against the influence of imperialism in the country. But when I became Prime Minister, I understood. I hadn't fully grasped the influence of imperialism in the country. And I saw how Spain spread its tentacles. That's why I often brought up this point in my statements. So people become aware of it. But when you are not facing these effects, it is difficult to understand certain messages. The influence of imperialism in delaying our societies is very strong. And so, if we want to progress, we will have to overcome this to find our own path of development. However, as an isolated state, it's difficult. If we come together, we can build a strong bloc in terms of population, economy, and military to be able to resist all attempts of imperialism against our dominions. You can tell me what happened during General Tiamin's coup d'etat in Niger. If it hadn't been for the solidarity of Mali and Burkina Faso, the imperialists wouldn't have hesitated to intervene, even if it meant massacring the Nigerian civilian populations to reinstate their agents in power. Therefore, that is why I would like this project, the establishment of the Confederation of the States of the Sahel, to be strengthened, and so that we can reach a federation and stabilize our institutions under leadership to confront the challenges of resisting external influences and the challenges of development and free movement of our populations. So those are the ongoing projects. And that means you have a lot to do. But I think your task is much easier now, as security is increasingly under control. And people are also beginning to understand. When we started, most people had mindsets framed by the Western model, meaning their thinking was directed. People weren't convinced that one could think differently. And now we have noticed that with the work we began, many are starting to understand that it is possible to think differently. And we can think of ourselves differently. So the task is a bit easier for us. And fortunately, you have a qualified staff. Whether it is the General Secretariat or the Cabinet here, they are ready to meet the challenges. We can trust them. In any case, just as within the government, as I have told you, I have had a good understanding with all the ministers who have been part of the different governments. Within the Prime Minister's office, it was the same. I never encountered any issues with any particular staff member, whether from the Secretary General or the Cabinet, that couldn't be resolved through understanding. So, I think you are an institution that is well equipped to move forward. You have all the tools to succeed. So I wish you a successful journey, and may every journey come to an end. And at the end of your journey, may you be proud of yourself and your country. Thank you.